Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of our Student Affairs Spotlight. Today we will be joined by Dr. Brian Fisher, who is the Associate Vice President of Operations for our Division of Student Affairs.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello. So, Dr. Fisher, could you tell us just a little bit about your experience in student affairs before you came to Florida Atlantic?
Yeah, sure. As you mentioned, I've been working in the profession for over 30 years now. I've worked at a variety of institutions, mostly large publics. I spent 16 years before I was here at Florida Gulf Coast University in Fort Myers, Florida. I also worked at Florida International University in Miami for 9 years. And then before that, I worked at brief time at University of Alabama, and I was also at Florida State University as well.
Wow, you're really hopping around the state.
Yeah, I've worked at 4 of the different institutions in the state of Florida. I also have a son who's at 5th University of Central Florida, so
wow.
have had the opportunity to interact and engage with a lot of the state universities, which it helps me a lot in terms of bringing best practices and ideas to our institution here.
Is there anything that you feel like would roll over in your experiences?
Well, sure. Most of my career has been in student housing. So understanding the housing profession, that's really where I got my start at Florida State University. So there's always lessons learned from each of the institution, even though each institution's unique and has its different set of needs. There's certainly carryover from all of the different experiences to help me here. And then in my last role before I was here at Florida Gulf Coast, I really had the opportunity to work with a lot of different offices in the Division of Student Affairs. That's really where it expanded my understanding of the different areas within our division and all the different things that we provide services for.
Perfect. As you mentioned, you work very closely with housing and residential education. So in the plans for Talon Hall, would you just be able to speak more on the process of how you created the plan to start Talon Hall and what you foresee it being once it's completely built?
Yeah, I think the first thing I would say is it's a we. I have a very large role in all of it, but it's not something that I do by myself whatsoever. The process started shortly after I got here, so in the spring of 2023. So it really takes several years to bring a building together. The first thing we needed to do was to conduct a market demand and a financial feasibility study. And so we worked with a third-party company to come in and help us assess, do we indeed have the demand for additional student housing? What type of student housing would best fit our needs here at the campus? And then third, and honestly most important, can we afford what we need in figuring out how to do that? One of the things that's often not fully understood about on-campus housing at public universities is student monies in regards to tuition and fees are not used to help cover costs for student housing.
This is true.
One of the words that we refer to with housing and other entities on the campus is that it's an auxiliary unit. And we commonly refer to auxiliary units as being self-sufficient. So it means that the entity, the auxiliary, is run by fees that it generates on its own. And the primary way that we generate housing fees is through rent. That's the vast majority of the fees that are collected. So the student rent has to be used to borrow money in the form of debt to build additional student housing. Usually that's how it's done on a college campus. And so we go through that entire process. We work with stakeholders on our campus from the Division of Financial Affairs to help with the financial modeling. And then that actually goes up to different leadership representatives in the state of Florida and Tallahassee for reviewing financial models. Ultimately, it's approved by Board of Trustees and the Board of Governors. Then we begin the design process. So there's actually a lot of steps before we even start design. Then we work very closely with our colleagues in administrative affairs here at Florida Atlantic in an office that is called the Design and Construction Services Office. So really now those are our closest partners on a day-to-day basis of working with a campus architect, an architect that we hired, engineers, and then ultimately the construction management firm that's building the building right now. So there's a lot of stakeholders in the process.
Yeah.
What I just described took more than a year to do in terms of the planning, the financial modeling, the design, and then ultimately putting shovels into the ground.
Yeah.
More than a year ago now. We broke ground in December and January, about 12 or 13 or 14 months ago now. So it takes about 18 months to build the building. So
18 months is crazy.
Well, it's a large facility.
Yeah, but
and it'll be our largest building on campus. So the whole process from front to back is going to take the better of 3 years. And it's a significant decision for the university. And there's a lot of planning to go into it.
Very much necessary. So I know there's a big issue when it comes to upperclassmen getting housing, and it's been an issue for a couple of years. Would you say that Talon Hall is for upperclassmen? So would that mean like juniors and seniors, sophomores and juniors? Which one?
Yeah, no, I'd be glad to talk a little bit more about that. We have a contract renewal process that we do in the spring semester. We do an occupancy management plan in the fall semester that gets reviewed by university leadership. And a few years ago when I first got here, we made a few adjustments and changes about where we put our different groups of students. We made a lot of our facilities on the west side of our campus designated for first-year students. So Indian River Towers, Heritage Park, and Glade Park Towers, and Atlantic Park Towers, a building you referenced earlier. All of those buildings primarily serve first-year students now. We have housed a lot of first-year students in Parliament Hall as well.
Yeah.
And as we move forward, we're going to continue to expand to have more first-year students in Parliament Hall, so there'll be less upperclassmen there. But our facilities of Innovation Village North, South, the University Village Apartments, and now Talon Hall are primarily designated to support our upperclassmen. We won't be able to house all of our upperclassmen demands this upcoming year, but we're going to be able to house 674 more.
Yes.
Our wait list has hovered the last couple of years in the 12 to 1,300 range. So we're going to make a substantial dent in that this upcoming year. And we're going to watch the data that we collect this next year in terms of how many students we can serve and which audiences we cannot. But we're very excited about offering Talon Hall, and we're very confident that Talon Hall will help meet the needs of a lot of our students. The one last thing I'll add is that Talon Hall is primarily going to be a facility designated for sophomores. That was the plan and the intent all along. And so we think it'll be a facility that will really serve our second year students very well. And a lot of the thought and intent in the design of that building speaks specifically to that classification of students.
Okay, perfect. Upperclassmen, I feel like right now there's no shot for them to get any real housing. I know some of my friends who are sophomores, juniors, seniors, they will be on the wait list. And the way that the wait list works as of right now, as soon as a spot opens, you're expected to move in immediately. And for a lot of people, it's kind of difficult for them. So do you think, this is probably more of a question for somebody in housing, but do you think that with Talon Hall coming up, the wait list would be like, they would have more time to figure out their whole process?
Yeah, we there's a lot of nuance and intricacies with an assignments process. I think that we communicate very well with our students who are part of the process, but the process also takes time. For every student that is on the wait list, we have a student who's occupying a space. And so as students who are occupying space have a change of plans, we sometimes have opportunities to accommodate students on the waiting list.
Okay.
So it is not something that the university is doing. It's more that the process literally has thousands of people who have life plans.
Yeah, I see.
And sometimes life plans change. And so our team, which is actually a very lean team, there's not a lot of full-time staff that are responsible for this sophisticated process. It's very efficient. The team works very hard and they communicate very well with our students. but spaces become available throughout the late spring and through the summer time, depending on what as individual students' situations might change or evolve. And we try to respond as fast as possible to those students. But I can see how a student who might be on the wait list, who starts on the waiting list in March, is on there in April, continues to wait in May, and then all of a sudden gets a phone call in June.
Yeah.
It's not the university that was holding anything back. It was that a student changed the plans.
Yeah.
And then so we're only responding to circumstances and situations that evolve for our students. So it's a tricky process sometimes. I think one of the things that really maybe is misunderstood is that our housing assignments process for our students is just that. It's for our students. The opposite is if you're moving off campus and you sign a lease with an off-campus entity, those leases are almost always for 12 months. And if you have a life situation that changes and you go in and speak with that leasing office, they're not going to be considerate of your life changes. They're going to continue to hold you to be obligated to that lease regardless of the change in your circumstances. Our housing office is representing the university. Our contract is specifically designed to support our students. So it could be a different approach for us would be to fill our beds, and whether your plans change or not, we're not letting you out of your contract.
Yeah.
But we're here to serve our students, and that's why we have these fluctuations. So I think I understand from a student lens how the experience might not always be fortunate or easy to navigate, but it is designed with the student in mind.
Okay, good. One last question. And of the amenities that are going to be offered in Talon Hall, first, would you be able to speak on the amenities? And also, which one of the amenities would you, if you were a student, be most excited to use?
Yeah, no, I'm really glad you asked that question because it's always, this is actually the 9th residential facility in my career that I've been involved for new construction. Wow. I've had a very fortunate career in that I was involved in 3 buildings in design at Florida International and 5 in design at Florida Gulf Coast. So this is the first one I've got to participate with here, but it is not my first one. And so I'm really excited. And I mentioned that because as important as the room that the students live in is to design and design well, the rest of the building is as important, and I think often forgotten in terms of trying to create space in the building that can really serve our students well. I think we've done that in this facility, and we'll be able to set a new bar for us on our campus. We have a lot of spaces that I think speak to the needs of this generation of students. So we have public common areas up through the center core of the building off of the elevators. We'll have a game room on the 7th floor that I think will be very appealing for our students. We have a variety of different lounges. We have a beautiful sun deck on the 2nd floor. The only place other on our campus where we have a sun deck is Indian River Towers. Yes. This sun deck is going to set a new standard that I think our students are absolutely going to love. And so that sun deck, I think, will be a hot spot in the building, no pun intended. The 7th floor game room, I think, will be a popular space. Lots of study space. We have different multi-purpose rooms on each floor with different themes that include a wellness room, a fitness room, and I mentioned study rooms. And then last but not least, the space that I think will be the most exciting is actually the outdoor space. Oh. What I've been really eager to create some opportunities for our campus is to try to begin to address outdoor spaces. I think there's great opportunity for our campus to create more inviting spaces in the outdoors to really let students enjoy and relax and decompress. We have great weather in our area here, and I don't think we have enough spaces on our campus that really draw the students outdoors. So to close, I'll say that we have a barbecue area with a built-in barbecue grill that it's a covered area, and we've also built a fire pit.
Oh my
This will be
gosh.
our first fire pit on our campus, and I think it's really going to create a setting not just for Talon Hall, but it's adjacent to Parliament Hall, and
Mm-hmm.
we're going to address their courtyard too to create this neighborhood feel that I really think will draw students not just to have a great experience in the building, but a great experience outside their building too, and bring them outside more. So the sun deck, the barbecue area, and the fire pit, along with the volleyball court that's existing, and some other amenities that are going to be brought outdoors, is really going to create this neighborhood vibe
Mm-hmm.
outdoors that I think our students are going to really love.
So do you think it would be similar to what is in the quad right now?
No, the quad is very large
Mm-hmm.
in scale. The quad does a great job if you want to do larger social activities.
Yeah.
You can literally bring hundreds or even 1,000 students into that quad. This is going to have a more intimate vibe. We have some really good shading that's already in that Parliament courtyard. So we're going to put a lot of intentional seating that allows for students of 2, students of 3, students of 4, groups of 5 or 6, these smaller groups, hang out with your friends, just kind of relax. Maybe you grab some food, you want to do some hamburgers and hot dogs on the grill. Somebody wants to go get some long sticks and do marshmallows on the fire pit. Just I think one of the things about this generation of students is, they're constantly on the go. They're constantly plugged into technology and their schoolwork, and they're looking for opportunities to unplug, to decompress, to relax, and just unwind. And I think this will be one of the first outdoor spaces on campus that clearly says that's what this space is to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll have a very different vibe than the West Quad, which is it does have the barbecue area and some volleyball courts,
but it's not very intimate. Yeah, no.
It's very vast.
Yes.
But it serves a purpose. This space will serve a very different purpose, which I think will be a draw over the years to come for students to. One of the things that people say about Parliament Hall is that it's far away.
Yes.
And we have a big campus, but I think in the next decade, more and more of our east side of campus is going to grow and develop. Right now, it feels like it's over there, out of mind, because Opportunity Way and the Breezeway really are central to the heart and the pulse of our campus.
They're like the highways.
They're the highways. Great reference. This area over here with Parliament Hall and Talon Hall is going to become the beginning of a development of a new neighborhood
it's like
over
suburbia
there.
almost.
Yeah. And if we find ways to extend Opportunity Way all the way to University Village Apartments in the years to come, I think it's really going to create a neat neighborhood vibe, because it is also part of the master planning to build additional student housing over there in the future, past Talon Hall. So we're setting this up really to, I think, be a place where it'll feel like a home for students, and a place where they can do their thing with their friends on their terms, which will, I think, really be a great addition to expanding the Boca Raton campus.
Oh, I'm excited because I know that of the schools that you were talking about in Florida, our school is very, very young. So we haven't been able to develop and create that sense of community because, one, we're very small. Just like, I wouldn't say small as in the university as a whole, it's just Boca campus is very small in comparison to other campuses who are very large. They have vast communities. They have little pockets of like, oh, there's grocery stores over here. There's a housing building here. There's lounges. There's this gym. Like, there's a lot of pods. And we do have pods at FAU. It's just they're not as cohesive as I feel like they could be. So the fact that you mentioned hoping to create an Opportunity Way, making it go all the way down to UVA, which UVA is a trek. It is a trek and a half.
Sure.
So the fact that that's in your plan for the future of Florida Atlantic, I feel like that is something that a lot of students, after me, because I feel like it won't It won't happen in my lifetime at FAU, but I hope it happens in the lifetime for the students who come after us, because that would be beautiful just to see how far our campus can go.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything that you said. And, developing a college campus takes time. And we're at an exciting time at Florida Atlantic's development, and it's our 65th year, it's forthcoming, and we're really excited about some of the things that we have in our future plans. And you use the word pod, I would use the word neighborhoods. We're really trying to, it is still large enough, right? So like you said, University Village Apartments is a trek, is the word you used. We're looking to try to break down that scale and really create these pods, these neighborhoods, to give the students different versions of what feels like home for them, so that this larger community can be broken down in scale and they can find their place here. We've talked a lot about Talon Hall, but we have some of the same types of ideas and desires for this building. And we're working on active plans right now to build an addition onto the student union, and to create a neighborhood vibe here as well with some of the outdoor spaces. So that's a little bit further down the road, but not too far. I'm not sure how much time you have left, but you'll be around to see Talon Hall if you're here in the fall. And then we're only about 2 years away from where this building that we're in is gonna transform and really have a different vibe as we add a new facility to the north, and really look to create an intimate space outdoors between Live Oak, the building we're in right now, and the new facility. Yeah. So we're really trying to create more places and spaces on our campus where students can look at them and say, this is for me. I feel at home here. I see different places and spaces where I can study, I can interact with friends, I can participate in large-scale programs, I can go to sporting events, whatever their interests might be, they can find it here at the school.
Yeah, the buzz around the union expansion, a lot of people are just like, okay, when is it happening? When is it happening? Can I be here to see it happen? But I feel like the union definitely is evolving. The esports arena, it was before your time.
Yes, it was.
It was. But that was a huge, huge shift in, I feel like, I don't want to say aura, the atmosphere of the student union. And with the commuter lounge downstairs about to be opened soon, yes. There's a big sign that says, due to some construction complications, there is a delay to the space, but at least somebody thought to put that lounge there for a commuter student. I'm a commuter student, so knowing that I have a designated space for me to just relax and not have to worry about, okay, where can I take a nap somewhere that isn't my friend's room? It's central to where all of the stuff is going on. I don't want to walk all the way to Parliament or go into one of the freshman dorms or wherever on campus just to relax. So I feel like that's very important, very thoughtful. Nobody really thinks about commuter students, and Boca campus is primarily a commuter campus. Even though we have the most housing out of all of the campuses, we still are primarily commuter.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you mentioned the commuter lounge. The background story for that. So I'm overseeing that project too. And so the delay, we were going to be open a few weeks ago, but we had some issues that we need to address for the state fire marshal to make sure that space is meeting the expectations there. So we had to go back and make some adjustments that we failed to catch in the design. So that's okay. We lost a little bit of time. It's painful for our students because our students always want...
Yes, waiting ever so patiently.
Right.
And when you walk by, it's just like, oh my gosh, it looks so cute.
We know. And the reason why we put that sign up and covered it back up was because we thought we were ready to open, and we got a curveball at the last minute. And so I told the team, let's close it back up, because every day students are peeking in and going, when's this going to be ready? I'm ready to use it. We're excited to have that space here. It'll be here soon, not soon enough. But I want to give credit where credit is due. On the first day of President Hasner's presidency, he met with students. And we had intentions to build a commuter lounge in that space.
Oh, wow.
But it was going to be a few years from now. And he met with students, and students asked for
a space.
Well, he asked, obviously, first day, what are your needs? What are your interests are? What's missing? And a few of the students mentioned the commuter student lounge, which we had heard. And President Hassner asked the Division of Student Affairs, is this something we can do quicker? And we told them the answer is yes. So we shuffled around our priorities for the student union expansion, and rather than putting that at the back, we put it at the front.
Yeah.
So we changed our timeline around, moved forward with that. So that space is here sooner because of him. And so he deserves the credit for that, and we're excited to be able to deliver on that.
He's very hands-on.
Yeah, no, I agree. So we're excited. We'll have that space here soon. It'll be an important addition. And I think, speaking more broadly, the intent in the future is to more and more convert the spaces you see on the first floor to serve as what we would refer to as the living room for our students.
Okay.
So we want these. There's a lot of spaces in our union now that function on the first floor as meeting spaces or small event spaces. And more we want that first floor to be the living room. And so we're going to slowly convert the spaces you see there to function that way. So it'll be the place where come hang out, decompress, you need to study, but just where you can relax. The outdoor space will do that too. The new building that we're building is going to be an event and center and meeting hub. Okay. So we're going to take as much as of the events and meeting spaces that we have now here and push that activity to this new building. And it'll free up some of the spaces we have here to be, they'll still, like Grand Palm and some of these buildings, spaces will still be meeting and event spaces.
Okay. That was also a question I was going to ask. So the difference between Grand Palm and Live Oak, Grand Palm is in the main building of the student union. Live Oak is outside, like a little bit of a walk. It's
a separate building.
Yeah. So would it, in the plans going forward, would you convert Grand Palm into part of that living room ideal and leave Live Oak as an event space, or would you keep Grand Palm as an event space?
Great question. The intent right now, as of today, and it's going to take a little bit of time to deliver on this question, but the intent is to keep Grand Palm as meeting and to convert Live Oak to a space that would serve to meet this living room space. The new facility that we'll build will make Grand Palm still has a value going forward that we can continue to benefit from for meetings and events. But I think there'll be an opportunity when you see the conceptual designs that we're working on to transform Live Oak. Once upon a time, this building had a space in where the esports is, in the gaming area is now. The borough.
That was another question that I was going to ask you. Are we going to be able to bring back the borough?
I think the intent is to have maybe not a replication of the borough, but something that functions as the borough. Maybe it is still called the borough. I think our thought right now is that Live Oak could serve as that space.
Oh my gosh.
I would love to. One of the things that we get feedback from our esports and gaming community is that they actually want their own space, like literally their own room.
Yes. Okay.
Sharing it with the pool table and the ping pong table, ping pong tables, air hockey tables, and the like isn't always the type of environment they're looking for. So our thoughts is to make that a full-fledged arcade gaming area and to give esports their own dedicated space. So we'll look to do that in the next year or so. And then this new facility will come online. And then our longer term plans would be to renovate the auditorium to make that more modern and contemporary in its look and its appeal. And then to visit Live Oak to be a new living room space. I don't want to say what will go in there because I don't know. it is a question I've asked students and staff quite a bit, and you get a lot of different answers.
I know my answer. I know the answer of me and my peers, and that is we just want y'all to bring back the borough.
Okay.
That is it. We just want our borough back.
Yeah, the borough, when you talk with students who were here with the borough, there's a fondness and affection for it. And I definitely think we need to find a way to bring that back. I can't speak to how quickly we'll be able to get it back.
As long as it's an idea floating in the air and in the minds, that's kind of all that really is important to us.
Yeah, and I appreciate you bringing that up, because what it does is remind me of that, what the importance of that space and how it benefited our community in the past, and finding an opportunity to get it back here in the future.
In the next few years, let's say, I don't want to say 10 because who really knows what's going to happen in 10 years. Let's say about 5 years. What do you see this campus looking like?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think we're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to expand, and we're going to continue to invest in the facilities that we have. And I do imagine we'll have some new facilities in the next 5 years. I think what's most likely is the student union coming, and perhaps additional student housing. I think, speaking more broadly, we're really looking to modernize a lot of our spaces to meet the needs of our students today. And so students' needs have changed a lot. And so we're really looking to create spaces where students can find opportunity to relax, to decompress, to engage with each other, to really support them, to help them get all of the different things they're looking from the college experience. So the student union, student housing, and some of our other spaces will continue to get a lot of attention. We have longer term plans for campus recreation. This is a facility that we really need more space for our students. It's a very busy building. So that's on the horizon too. So a lot of different opportunities here, and we're going to continue to invest in these buildings to allow our staff to create amazing experience and programs to support our students.
Okay, well, thank you for being our spotlight guest today. Very much appreciated. A lot of insightful information for the general student population. I know I learned a lot. So thank you, Dr. Fisher, for coming.
Yes, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed meeting you and enjoyed our time together.
We hope to see you watching again for another episode of our Student Affairs Spotlight. Go Owls.